straight to the reason we are here. Okay, following Ekuapim Polo's recent court saga, I saw mentions of Ghana's cybersecurity law, and I'm like, what's that? Let me look it up. Now, looking it up, I came across an article which reads, Ghana's parliament has passed its CYBERSECURITY Act 2020. The new piece of legislation is aimed at safeguarding children against cybercrime, as well as general protection for citizens against criminal acts and abuses. Now, this is the part that caught my attention. Speaking during the second National Girls in IT Day earlier this year, Osla Owusu Ekufo, Ghana's Minister of Communication, said, listen, the government is introducing, or right now we can say has introduced, because they did it somewhere last year ending. Okay, so the government has introduced a cybersecurity law with provisions on child online protection to ensure that offenders of revenge pornography, that is, acts of distributing sexually explicit images or videos without the consent of parties, will be prosecuted. So it caught my attention. I decided to look more into the cybersecurity law. So again, I came across this 67-page document which talks about, like, it gives details on the cybersecurity law. So in this video, I'm just going to read out the part that talks about leaking people's nudes, and then the part that talks about protecting children online. Okay, I think it's a thing that should be lauded. So let's go. Now, this 67-page document talks about the cybersecurity unit, its membership, tenure of office, allowances they receive, their job description, blah blah blah. But I'm going to skip all of that and move to where I want all of us to hear, the place I want to loud, Okay, provisions have been made for protecting children online from anything sexual, and then there are also provisions made for the nude leakers. So quickly, I'm just going to read it to your hearing. Let's move to, this is section 62. Talks about protection of children online, indecent image or photograph of a child. It says, a person shall not take or permit to be taken an indecent image or photograph of a child, produce or procure an indecent image or photograph of a child. System. Then it continues to also say, a person shall not publish, stream, including live stream, an indecent image or photograph of a child through a computer or an electronic device, or a person shall not possess an indecent image or photograph of a child in a computer system or on a computer or electronic record storage medium. Then subsection 2 says, a person who contravenes subsection 1, all that have been mentioned, the kind of pictures they said don't take of children. A person who contravenes subsection 1 commits an offence and is liable on summary conviction to a fine of not less than 2,500 penalty units and not more than 5,000 penalty units, or to a term of imprisonment of not less than 5 years and not more than 10 years, or both. Then it continues to read, for the purpose of paragraph C of subsection 1, a person publishes an indecent photograph, image, or visual recording if that person parts with possession of the indecent photograph, image, or recording to another person, or exposes or offers the indecent photograph, image, or recording for acquisition by another person. Then it continues to say, this is subsection 4, says, for the purpose of this section, indecent image or photograph, it is describing what is calling indecent, includes material image, visual recording, video, drawing, or text that depict a child engaged in sexually explicit or suggestive conduct. B. A child who appears to be engaged in sexually explicit or suggestive conduct. C. Images representing a child engaged in sexually explicit or suggestive conduct. D. Sexually explicit images of children. E. Any written material, visual representation, or audio recording that advocates or counsels sexual activity with children. That would be an offense under the Criminal Offences Act. Then it continues to also say any written material that has as its dominant characteristics the description for a sexual purpose of sexual activity with a child. That would be an offense under the Criminal Offences Act. I mean, there's a whole lot on protection of children. Another interesting one here is cyber stalking of a child. Section 65, it says that a person shall not use a computer online service, an internet service, a local internet bulletin board service, or any other electronic device to compile, transmit, publish, reproduce, buy, sell, receive, exchange, or disseminate the name, telephone number, electronic mail address, residential address, picture, physical description, characteristics, or any other identifying information on a child in furtherance of an effort to arrange a meeting with a child for the purpose of engaging in sexual intercourse, sexually explicit conduct, or unlawful sexual activity. A person who contravenes subsection 1 of section 65 commits an offense and is liable on summary conviction to a term of imprisonment of not less than 5 years and not more than 15 years. A whole lot. Now to the main issue. Section 66, it talks about sexual extortion. Listen. Section 66, subsection 1. A person shall not threaten. Thou shalt not threaten. A person shall not threaten to distribute by post, email, text, or transmit by electronic means or otherwise a private image or moving images of the other person engaged in sexually explicit conduct with a specific intent to A. Harass, threaten, coerce, intimidate, or exert any undue influence on the person, especially to extort money or other consideration, or compel the victim to engage in unwanted sexual activity. Yeah? And then it continues to say, a person shall not threaten or distribute by post, email, text. Okay, it's the same thing. It's saying you can't do the same thing for a child too. Now let's move to section 67. It talks about online sexual offenses. Non-consensual sharing of intimate image. A person shall not, with intent to cause serious emotional distress, intentionally distribute or intentionally cause another person to distribute the intimate or prohibited visual recording of another identifiable person without the consent of the person depicted in the intimate image, and in respect of which there was a reasonable expectation of privacy both at the time of the creation of the image or visual recording and in the time the offense was committed. A person who contravenes subsection 1 commits an offense and is liable on summary conviction to a term of imprisonment of not less than 1 year and not more than 3 years. For the purpose of this section, serious emotional distress includes any intentional conduct that results in mental reaction such as fright, nervousness, grief, anxiety, worry, mortification, shock, humiliation, and indignity, as well as physical pain. The next one, section 68, talks about threat. Threat to distribute prohibited intimate image or visual recording. Not even you going ahead to do it, just threatening another person. A person shall not threaten another person to distribute a prohibited intimate image or visual recording of that person in a way that would cause the other person distress, reasonably arising in all the circumstances, and the threat is made in a way that would cause that other person fear, reasonably arising in all the circumstances of the threat being carried out. A person who contravenes subsection 1 commits an offence and is liable to summary conviction to a term of imprisonment of not less than 1 year and not more than 3 years. So girl them, henceforth, no guy should threaten you that they will leak your nudes. Report them. Okay? Report them because it's a crime. Gather evidence, take screenshots, record the call, meet him in person, secretly video him, gather your evidence and go and report him, because he threatening you is a crime and he actually going ahead to do it too is a crime. So I am so excited about this cybersecurity law because man them especially small thing, no, they'll start blackmailing you, threatening you, they'll leak your nude, come and sleep with them, do this, do that, or else. I mean, now the law has come for you. It has what? Come for you. Don't dare. If you dare, you are doomed. Girls, see you in the next video. Bye.
Yeah. Trump.